if you call upon a street sweeper to sweep a street, let that sweeper sweep like Michelangelo would have painted, or Shakespeare would have probably written poetry, or Beethoven would have composed music, so that
Wow.
the hosts of heaven and earth could stop by and pause and say that here lived a street sweeper who did his job so well. So Prashant, whenever
Sure.
we ask anyone, or whether I ask you or you ask me, when we talk about leadership, we always think about somebody else. We think about some leader who has influenced us in some way or the other. We tell that this is the leader who I respect, this is the leader who I don't want to be like. We talk about experiences of the external experiences of somebody else whom we look up to as leader. But what about us? We don't think that we are also leaders in our own mind. It is not about the bigger things that we do. It is not about somebody leading an organization, somebody who's a CEO, somebody. It's like every one of us is a leader in our own mind. So
Wow.
be it a CEO, a middle-level manager, or probably a factory worker, or a janitor, or anybody for that matter, is leading something. And that leading is in context to the job. The person that person is leading is the self. So anybody from top to bottom is leading the self. And the most difficult part, Prashant, I feel, is conquering yourself. You can conquer the rest of the people, but you conquering yourself, knowing what you are, who you are, what you believe, and why you believe that, and where you are going. For becoming a leader, that aspect is so important. So leadership begins with the self. First thing is about self-awareness. As a person, what I am, the strong set of values that I follow is the core, the foundation of my leadership style. Anybody's leadership style, anybody for that matter. Could be somebody who's teaching in schools, colleges, could be a parent. Leadership is more like parenting. So then comes self-reflection. Every day we should take a little bit of time to reflect of what we are as a person. Only then we can be a leader in any aspect, any front. Then comes self-regulation. We are self-aware, we know who we are, we are reflecting on ourselves, but what about that regulation? So I think a combination of awareness, reflection, and regulation for the self, that's where the foundation of true leadership, it starts. That's what I believe. And once you start conquering yourself, you would know that this is what I want. For example, you tell somebody that you do this work. Now you should primarily know that why you are doing that work, what is the objective of the work, what is the goal. And if you don't have that clarity yourself, how would you lead somebody else?
If somebody asks me, who do you look up to the most as a leader? My answer should be me. If my answer is not me, then there is a requirement of deeper self-awareness, deeper self-reflection, and a deeper self-regulation that you spoke about. Speak to people. A common crisis that I see around, which I'm sure you will identify with, is that today people look at their title as their identity. कि मैं कौन हूँ, मैं CEO हूँ, मैं कौन हूँ, मैं एक सीनियर मैनेजर हूँ, मैं कौन हूँ, अरे यार मैं तो सिर्फ एक हाउसकीपर हूँ, मैं कौन हूँ, मैं सिर्फ एक डोरमैन हूँ, right? So people look at their identity with that title that has been given to them, and they get associated with that as saying that is who I am. Now that is not who you are. That is a role that you are playing. That irrespective of what role you are playing, if you do it, and if you look at your job like Beethoven, if you look at your job like Michelangelo, if you look at your job like someone who you look up to as a leader, the only thing that they did differently, उन्होंने किया क्या? एक पेन और एक पेपर उठाया और उस पे कुछ अल्फाज ही तो लिखे. एक पेन और एक ब्रश और एक चार्ट पेपर उठाया और उसके ऊपर सिर्फ हाथ ही तो चलाया. They didn't do anything amazing, but because they loved what they did, they connected with their heart from what they did, is why it came out so beautiful.